super excited to be presenting a demo here.
Amazing. So before we set the agenda and just talk about the challenges and do some live demos, there might be a lot of people for whom Pieces is new, and not just Pieces, but we're also very interested in learning about how you're utilizing AI, what you're doing with AI, and being a big AI company, what are some of the things that you've learned? So we'll cover all of those shortly. But Savo, if you can give a quick intro on what Pieces does, and recently launched the new features in live context. So these may sound buzzwords to some people, so a little demo would be nice. And can you share a bit more about what Pieces does?
Yeah. So I mean, Kunal, you put it very, very kind of simply there. I would say there's so many complexities around building products that are kind of AI native, right? And if you think about it, like a lot of the things you used to do previously that were manual, they can really be kind of automated through AI capabilities. And our approach at Pieces, and one of the reasons that we're doing some work with Civo, is we wanted to start out, especially when we're working with developer materials, everything is on device, right? Developer materials, they have a large amount of intellectual property. They might have security constraints, maybe some privacy stuff, and so on. And so we wanted to say, all right, let's start with everything across Mac OS, Linux, and Windows, and then let's build up incrementally where it makes sense and where we are compliant to tap into the cloud. So the demo I'll kind of show you today is on device, and then we'll talk about on-prem, and then Shive will take us away with where we're going with some of the cloud stuff. And it'll cover, both training the models, but also too, using them, right, and deploying them across local devices and cloud servers. So I'll go ahead and do a quick demo here, and I'll share my screen. I'm gonna share my entire screen. Okay, fantastic. So you can probably note here, I was doing some work last night, and this is the natural flow for developers. Tons of browser tabs. You've got like a lot of windows going on, all different types of stuff. And then you've got your IDE, right? And so multiple projects inside your IDE, and then multiple tabs inside those projects. And so oftentimes like this kind of feels like a bit of chaos, but what I just showed you really represents three major pillars across the work in progress journey. So we started out building Pieces a couple of years ago for a very simple kind of phase one approach. And that is, maybe you're on the internet and you're looking at some documentation, maybe an open source package, and you want to just save that to Pieces, right? So I'll go ahead and I'll show you where we started. Phase one was all about humans being able to save something, right? And so, yeah, basically for my entire development career, it looked like this. I copied it to my clipboard, I opened my notes app, and I pasted in there. And that's a pretty crude experience because we can do so much more with AI. And so we'll show you how we've trained kind of models to run on device and make that paste experience really world-class. So I'll go ahead and launch Pieces for developers, or Pieces OS. Apologies, there we go. Get that booted. And then Pieces OS is the system that runs, again, like kind of in the background on your computer, and it powers all the integrations and everything, and it holds all the brains, if you will, of the platform. And then I'll launch our desktop app, which is Pieces for developers. And this is the app that most people interact with day in, day out. So that bit of code that I have on my clipboard, I'll go ahead and just come into the desktop app here, and I'll paste it. And what you'll see happening is very quickly we're determining, hey, that wasn't actually just plain text. It was actually code. And it wasn't only code, but it was Dart code. So that's, again, the first implementation of AI is, what is this thing that I just saved? And from there, of course, we're going to use AI to deeply enrich it. So giving it a title, and then, of course, giving it tags, related links, annotations, suggested searches, you name it. Now, the one thing to note is that all of the capabilities of Pieces are able to run on device. And what I mean by that is, we'll go ahead and we'll train models in a cloud like Civo's kind of fully managed ML pipeline. And then we'll export those models and we'll run them locally in Onyx or in TVM or things like that. And so you can see I can actually use a completely on-device mode, and all of the capabilities here where I might copy a snippet or save something or whatever else are equivalent. So I'll take this sub snippet and I'll paste it. And so, yeah, we did the detection. We're going to start to enrich it here, giving it a title, descriptions, links, everything like that. So that was the first kind of implications of AI for us. But I'll go and I'll switch to the settings again, and I'll turn the cloud stuff back on, which is pretty exciting. So we'll get into phase two, which was for every material you have saved, you might want to start a Copilot conversation about that thing. So I can launch and kick off a Copilot chat, and it's going to use that snippet as context, and it'll, kind of kick me off with a couple suggested queries. The thing to note here is that, of course, you can, again, use different cloud models, ones that might be hosted on Civo, ones that might be from a third-party provider like OpenAI or Gemini, and then ones that we might fine-tune and make available offline like Mistral, Phi2, Llama 2, etc., which is, again, supporting that air-gapped kind of constraint. So you can use every feature in Pieces completely connected or completely offline. But yeah, that was phase 2. A lot of developers, they like to come in, they like to basically, generate code, and then they like to save from their Copilot conversations. So what you'll see here is we're doing some Windows Form stuff. We're going to generate some C# code, looks pretty robust. And then we got some notes, and I'll go ahead and say, all right, this code's pretty interesting. Maybe I want to save that. And there you go. You kind of got this generate, iterate, and curate loop. Again, all this is powered by machine learning, from the enrichment to the generative process and so on. And then, building on phase 2 and phase 1, we kind of identified that there was a problem around, developers oftentimes don't realize they should have saved something. Like if you're reading Civo Navigate docs, you're like, okay, that YAML config is really important, but you might not make a note to like save it for later, right? It's a conscious process. And so for the last 11 months, we kind of got into this ability for Pieces to understand everything that's going on across the operating system. We call this the workstream pattern engine. And so phase 1 was about humans saving to Pieces, but phase 3 now is about Pieces being able to save things for you and have a deep understanding of your real-time context. So that pattern engine that I just mentioned powers live context, and I'll go ahead and show you what this is. So basically, I can pop over to the browser, and maybe I'll look at a different package here, like image picker. We can see, this is just what developers do. They come in, they take a look, platform support. They're like, all right, how do I get started? They look at some code snippets and so on. And maybe you're not noting too much, but you're comparing a couple of different packages that you might want to use for your implementation. So I can jump back to Pieces here, and live context allows me to understand things over time. So I could say, what was I just researching in Chrome for images? And I can ask these questions that are like temporally referenced. So just researching, right? That might mean a moment ago. And I am on a MacBook Air, so it's a little bit limited compute, but we're going to go ahead and kick out a response here. So I was researching the image picker. We've got some details, permissions, so on and so forth. I'll give another kind of interesting use case, which is I'll pull up Google Chat here, and I'll go to my infrastructure stand-up. This is another idea where Pieces is aware of the work that you're doing in the browser, the work you're doing in those collaborative environments, and then the work that you're doing in the IDEs. So if you're talking about an error in GChat or Slack or Teams, and then you run into that error in the IDE, Pieces can connect the dots there. So I'll just go ahead and open up Pieces again, and I'll say, what is everyone up to in infra chat? And I'm asking it pretty casual, pretty vague questions, but you get the idea. Pieces is going to have that context. It's going to do some processing right now, and then it's going to give me an output. And I'll wrap the demo here pretty quick. Okay, hit or miss. I will say I am on staging, so sometimes it's not always perfect. But either way, I'll jump over to the IDE, and we'll do another kind of example here. So I'm in my main.dart file, and maybe I'm doing an implementation, and I'll go ahead and just throw an error. Error. Oh, actually, I'll just do this in a unit test. So we got this widget test here, and I'll go ahead and say throw exception. This is a test exception for Civo live stream. And this will really show you the power of AI. It's quite crazy. So I'll go ahead and run this widget test here, and we should get this error. Let's see. I think my computer's a little sleepy. We have a really large release that's coming up on the 10th, and so my computer has been running hard. But we got some stuff going on. It looks like the error was not related. It seems like a Dart library JS interop problem. But either way, I can go over to Pieces and say, what is going on with the error I just got in IntelliJ? And we'll give it a second. I do have my coffee, but we don't have coffee for MacBooks right now, unfortunately. So we'll see. Oh, okay. So it looks like it has a general understanding, not exactly what I was looking for, but you kind of get the idea. We're trying to just connect the dots across Mac OS, Linux, and Windows in a way that doesn't make you paste the context all the time. And that's something to note, right? So we'll talk about, setting up machine learning on Civo Cloud. We'll talk about how we're looking to kind of use cloud infrastructure to improve some of this stuff. But it's hard to get this right. And so you want to have a really efficient pipeline to train, fine tune, test, etc. And that's such an iterative process in the AI space. So, but yeah, that's kind of a quick update of Pieces. I'll jump back to the live stream here, and then we'll get into some more stuff. Go ahead and pull that up. Go ahead and hide. Might have lost my live stream. Apologies. Where did we go? Nope. My bad. I have no idea. And this is the developer chaos. Oh, here we are. Perfect. All right. We're back. So yeah, bunch of windows, bunch of stuff going on. I can't even figure. I wish I was like, hey, which tab is my live stream in? And then just ask Pieces and it says, here's the link, which would be great. But you kind of get the idea, building a product that has such a robust level of machine learning is no short feat, right? And so you're going to need really, capable cloud stacks. And I think Civo is doing a really interesting job, both for their ML managed stuff, but also their Civo stack, which allows us to ship these models on-prem, inside of a certain environment, right? Like the DoD or a banking environment and so on. But yeah, I'll pause there. And I think we got some more stuff coming into the technical side.
Amazing. Well, thanks for sharing, Sabo. And obviously, we'll dive deeper into it in the demo.
Yeah.
But one common question we get is like, what are some of the common challenges when we talk about deploying machine learning models? And I mean, obviously, there are many ways to do it. You use on-prem, you use your own like public cloud, for example.
Right.
But yeah, what are some of the challenges and just something that folks should keep in mind?
Yeah, I think when it comes to like either training a large language model or publishing one or something like that, I mean, there's so many components in the supply chain, right? And so you've got your data lake, you've got your data cleaning pipelines, you've got your analytics pipelines, your performance testing pipelines, and so on. And so, for us, like the main thing is, where do we put all this data? And is it co-located with the compute that's going to be training on it, cleaning it, processing it, et cetera? And then can we actually, fine tune a model and then serve it? And then when it gets to the point of serving it, you might have maybe 10 users, but that might very quickly scale to 1,000 users, right? And the thing about large language models is they're not uniquely designed right now to serve a bunch of different users on one instance. So you're going to need to get into some horizontal scaling. And then that has implications on cost. It has implications on the noisy neighbor effect, where you have a lot of co-located compute that is running in parallel. And so you might have certain latency effects if the system is getting flooded. And so I think that just covers the surface of what it looks like to actually, serve this stuff. And if you imagine, how many times ChatGPT goes down, at least in the last couple of weeks, it's hard, right? It's really hard to do, and it's really hard to get right. So excited for the stuff Chauvet is going to be sharing here. And yeah, I'll jump in if there's anything that we particularly use as well.
And we have close to 300 people watching live. So thanks for everyone. And we are already getting some questions. Indranil is asking, what impact does Pieces have on device performance? I have an 8 gig RAM. Could it slow down my system?
I think all AI will certainly slow down, any system. I would say we do have we have a lot of users that are on kind of, older devices or devices that are low compute, low memory. I would say it probably could use anywhere between 1 gig of RAM, just like, quietly. We do have this ability in the Pieces dropdown to optimize your memory, and that'll clean it up. But if you're going to load a local large language model, that might be pushing it, because local large language models, even if they're like 7 billion, in parameter size, they're going to use anywhere between 4 and 6 gigs of RAM. But yeah, I mean, we have really great